Welcome back to another episode of Please Give Me an A, the podcast that explores the roller coaster that is my life during my last 2 semesters of my bachelor's degree. And of course, I'm your host, Jessie Boss, because Gerald is not in charge today. Today, we will embark on a journey throughout the vibrant traditions and holidays of both of my ancestors. For those of you who don't know, my mother's side of the family is Jewish and my father's side is Christian. I grew up a practicing Methodist, however, I have always had a huge love and longing to learn about my heritage as a Jew. To do this and incorporate it so I can at least get a grade and graduate from college, I've decided to write this as a new podcast episode. I have some knowledge of Jewish traditions and holidays and have done some research to further my knowledge. I have also interviewed 2 people from my life, but we will get into that later. For starters, let's talk about the 2 big holidays, Passover and Hanukkah. Passover is a week-long celebration commemorating the Hebrews' liberation from slavery in Egypt. Although Passover is a week-long, Jews who are no longer practicing or not as strict as other Jewish people tend to just celebrate the first day with a Seder dinner. I will later be asking my aunt about a Seder dinner. Passover typically begins very close to Easter, which is a Christian holiday. Think of Passover and Easter as counterparts, Easter being the Christian counterpart. Has defiantly evolved over time. As most of us know, when we think Easter, we, or at least I, think of the Easter bunny and magical eggs and lots of chocolate. However, the actual reason for the holiday is because of Holy Week. Holy Week is one of the most sacred weeks in the Christian tradition. The major days of this week are Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Good Friday commemorating the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and Easter Sunday, 3 days later, when Jesus rose from the dead. The other major counterparts are Hanukkah and Christmas. Hanukkah is an 8-day celebration in which commemorates the redaction of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. The biggest tradition is the lighting of the menorah, which is an 8-branched candle holder, lighting one each night celebrated. It is also called the Festival of Lights and usually falls around December. And of course, as we know, the Christian's counterpart is Christmas, and the reason for that season is none other than the birth of Jesus Christ. We will now be talking about my first guest. Her name is Heather, and she is my aunt who grew up Jewish. However, she, like the rest of my family, is no longer practicing. My first question to her was, when she spent time learning about Christianity, did she ever see any overlap in the 2 religions, specifically in Passover/Easter or Hanukkah and Christmas? Her response was, the overlap was the importance of each holiday to each religion. Christmas was the birth of Jesus, which basically started all of it, and Hanukkah starting the miracle of Jews surviving on oil that was only supposed to last 1 day but burned for 8. The next question I had asked her was, what is a lesser-known aspect or teaching of Judaism that is special to you or you feel should be more known or taught, or that just holds power in your eyes? Her response was, one lesson of Judaism I hold dear is the performing of mitzvahs, or good deeds that benefits others, doing good and selfless acts. And lastly, what is a Seder dinner like? Can you explain to me the atmosphere or traditional foods? Her response was, a Seder dinner involves the telling of the story of how the Israelites were liberated from the slavery in Egypt. Songs are sung and questions are asked. You welcome the ghost of Elijah with a glass of wine. The most common food at a Seder is matzah, and during the ritual, there are symbolic foods that represent different aspects. So I wanted to talk some about what her responses meant, specifically in 2, when she is talking about the performing of mitzvahs. When a man turns 13, he has a bar mitzvah, my bad. And when a woman turns 13, she has a bat mitzvah. Both of them are just the coming of age, becoming a man, becoming a woman, and to do so, they have to perform this kind of like a speech, and I don't want to say ritual, but that's essentially what it is, and they have to do these good deeds, and it's a whole project, and it's really interesting. My cousins had theirs. I did not have one, but it was very fun. And the second thing I really wanted to note was that the common food at the Seder dinner is matzah, which is literally just bread without yeast. That's all. That's all that is. So next, we will be getting into our second guest. And for my second guest, my boyfriend, Forrest Gump. Grader, this is my second automated clip. My first question for you is, while you spent time learning about Judaism, do you see any overlap between the two religions, specifically in Passover and Easter, or in Hanukkah and Christmas?
Well, in both holy books, the events of Passover and Hanukkah are both reported. While these are celebrated by those practicing Judaism, almost all the Christian holidays take place in their version of the New Testament. There is a strong overlap between these two religions that is more notable in Christianity, specifically in the fact that Jesus was Jewish, and there would not have been certain events such as the Last Supper, which was on Passover, without the Jewish religion.
Thank you. And my final question is, what is an aspect or a teaching of Christianity that is special to you?
Well, honestly, there's a couple things that tie me into Christianity. Most notably my childhood, but the idea of humility and sacrifice and sacrificial love has always stood out to me.
With this concludes the episode of Please Give Me an A, and Grader, please remember, give me an A. Also, to the Grader, this is my outro music, and also a special thanks to my aunt who helped me write about Judaism, and my boyfriend and his mother who helped me write about Christianity, and I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you!
I believe that these concepts reflect the true ideas of Christianity.
All right, well, thank you, Forrest, and I'll see you later.
All right now.